Peace, blessings, and protection, my sisters and brothers in faith, in the name of Yeshua, our Lord and Savior, the Messiah. So today's video, you read the title right, is me going into detail somewhat, but not all the information, because then the video will be very long. But I will be talking about how I was in a 10-year relationship with a psychopath. And in some of my videos, I would refer to the person as a narcissistic psychopath, because he is a psychopath but has a lot of narcissistic traits as well. And we'll refer to him as Mr. M. And people who've watched my videos know that I refer to the narcissistic psychopath as Mr. M. So to start off this video, I'm going to read one of the two Bible verses that describe perfectly the psychopath. And the first one is Second Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3. It says that, "But I fear lest somehow, as the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness, so your minds may be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ." So the most important line in that verse is, "As the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness." We're going to come back to this verse. Then the second one is also in 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14. It says that, "For Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light." So even Satan is able to take the form of the angel of light, but time reveals that it is not an angel of light and is actually Satan. So we're going to come back to these two verses. Please keep these verses in mind. So I wrote down notes so that I don't forget any of my points. Okay, so I was in a 10-year relationship with a psychopath. And I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh my goodness, 10 years, no marriage, no kids." Calm down. I was like 19, approaching 20. I was still 19. I was still 19. Yeah. When I met the psychopath, Mr. M. And when I was 19, I didn't have knowledge when it comes to relationships, because I never dated in high school. I come from a family background where we were raised by the Bible. So everything at home was the Bible, pray, read the Bible, pray, read the Bible, pray. So even when I was in high school, even though I wasn't that good looking, because I was overweight and dark skin, and at that time, in the townships, when you were my color, you were looked down upon, and the girls that were light-skinned and who were skinny or petite got attraction from the guys. And when I did get attraction or attention from the guys, I would literally just say, "Do not ask me out, because I'm going to tell my mom, or I'm going to be in trouble with God. I don't date." So I was like that. I only started dating after high school. So when I met Mr. M, I only had one boyfriend experience, and that relationship didn't last. And I wouldn't really call it a relationship, because I was a child and it wasn't serious. Let me put it that way. It wasn't serious. Looking back now as an adult, it wasn't serious. So Mr. M was like my second boyfriend, but like my first serious relationship. And when we met, we didn't start dating immediately. That's the difference between okay, before I go into that detail, please note that there is a difference between a narcissist and a psychopath. Two different things. I will make a video going into more detail about the difference between a psychopath and the narcissist. So the psychopath didn't rush for us to be in a relationship. Unlike a narcissist rushes for you to be in a relationship. There are some psychopaths who rush for you to be in a relationship, but it's psychopathy is a spectrum. So psychopaths in the lower end rush things because they are lower end psychopaths with more narcissistic traits, whereas when you go higher in the spectrum, though, you have those psychopaths that take their time, and that's not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. So when I first met Mr. M, we didn't date immediately. we took things slow, like very slow. We were just friends at first, and I like that because me not knowing at the time who the type of person I'm dealing with, I I would talk about the things that I would prefer in a partner. And I told him that I would first want to be friends with someone, get to know them before deciding if I want to be in a relationship with them. So he got that into his file because that's how they operate. They have your file. So this is Zandile. They have all the information about Zandile. This is Amanda. They have all the information about Amanda. So their brain is like they have literally a cabinet with each person's file. So he wrote that in my file that I prefer being friends first. And that's what he did. He perfected the friend. Like he perfected being the perfect friend. And I called him my best friend because at the time I really thought he was my best friend. And fast forward now, that's how he also got his other supply, which means that's how he got his other girlfriends. So he would first be friends with a girl for a period of time before making a move in for them to like take their friendship to a next level. So okay, I'm gonna go into detail about that later. But just know that the psychopath that I dealt with, always made friends with females first. And okay, fast forward to when I found out he was a serial cheater, was that all the females he introduced to me as his friends, he was sleeping with all of them, like sleeping all of them. And I think two of them he used to prom not ask for a relationship. He would tempt them or give them this idea, this false hope that they will one day be in a relationship. But I'll go into that later. So the difference between a narcissist and a psychopath, and the difference is that a psychopath. Okay, let me first talk about. I have so much things to say, so now my mind is like calculating to say the points that I've written down. So the narcissist and the psychopath are different, but what they do have in common are narcissistic traits such as being serial cheaters, pathological liars, and being mentally, physically, emotionally, financially abusive, even sexually. There are psychopaths and narcissists that sexually abuse their partners. And the thing with the psychopath is that a narcissist rushes things, everything is fast. A psychopath takes time to study you. They study you better than a narcissist. They take their time and they are very scheming. They are very calculative. It's like they're playing chess. It's like they're professionals of chess. They don't just make a move for no reason. They don't make a move hoping it's going to land where they want it to land. No, they calculate, they scheme. These are not good qualities that I'm talking about here in this scenario. And their chess moves are perfect. It's perfected. A narcissist is sloppy. You can quickly spot a narcissist when they're lying, when they're cheating. They quickly give themselves away. A psychopath, no. You won't know with a psychopath until you spend a lot of time with them and understand psychopathy. But they really take their time to study you. Their chess moves are perfected. They're not sloppy. They don't leave behind evidence. The only time the psychopath leaves behind evidence is when they are panicking. And they panic when they've lost their main source of supply, their primary source, which is known as, if you on the internet, the primary source of supply is called the grade A source or the perfect source, which I fall under. But I do not own that title because there is nothing that makes me proud about having been the psychopath's main source of supply, the primary source, the one that got away. Well, I love being the one that got away, but I don't like the fact that I fall under primary source, but I'm not there. And the psychopath is a chameleon. You know that lizard that is a chameleon. If it's if it's by a green tree, it's going to be green. If it's by a brown tree, it's going to be brown. That is a psychopath. They're a chameleon. They blend in all environments. Mr. M is a Xhosa speaking person, and he is able to speak Afrikaans because he went to an Afrikaans high school. And when I say that he is able to take the form of any type of person or any type of persona, I am not lying to you. When we are in the townships, that's where we stay, he literally will take the form of a guy that is from a township. So when he's chilling with the guys or walks past guys that are, Kasi guys, township guys, he literally takes the form of a Kasi guys and starts speaking the lingo. His body language changes. He becomes the Kasi guy. When let's say for example, we go to waterfront or we at a date night, because we have had date night once a month. And we at a place where there's white people, that English speaking people. He will take the form of a white English speaking person. He will take that personality. He will become an English speaking white person. And when he's with a Boer, like white people that speak Afrikaans, he will also take the form of a Boer. And do you know that movie Glasses, if I'm pronouncing it right, where this guy, he's Patricia, and then he's the beast, and then when he takes form of the beast, he really becomes a beast. When he takes form of Patricia, he becomes a woman. That movie Glasses or something like that with Samuel L. Jackson. The psychopath is like that. When he takes in a persona, he becomes that persona. When he's with Afrikaans speaking people, he takes the form. You will literally think he is a Boer. And I used to ask him, and I would be like, why are you never yourself? And then he would be like, why? I'm like, when you're with me, you're a different version. When we are chilling with people in the townships, you're a township version. When we in town, you become like a Boer if we're amongst people that speak Afrikaans, or if you're amongst people that speak English, he becomes that. So I would always ask him, and he would get irritated when I used to ask him, like, why are you never you? Just be yourself. You don't have to take the form of a Boer to blend in with Boers. Like me, my persona is the same. The way that I am in these videos is the way that I am at home. It's the way I am at work. I don't have friends. I've had bad experiences with friends. The Lord is my best friend, my only friend. And I do have a girl that I'm close with, which we met through the gym. I call her my little sister. She calls me big sister. So we have like a sister-sister relationship. But we both know that we're not friends. She knows that. And we're kind of similar because she's also doesn't have friends, also had bad experiences with friends. But when it comes to my history with friends, like my first best friend was a psychopath. My first best friend was a psychopath. And then the friends I had after that were narcissists. So I always say when I'm making these videos, I've actually had more heartbreak from friends than relationships, because I've never had a lot of relationships, but I've had a lot of friends. And when I reflected on my past, I realized that I've always at that time attracted psychopaths and friends, psychopaths and narcissists, and these were females and men, but mostly females. And people have this wrong understanding of narcissists and psychopaths. They think it's only men. No. My first heartbreak was a female that is a psychopath. If she is still alive, I don't know, but she was a psychopath, and she hurt my heart bad. But I still forgave her and continue being friends with her, because when you're an empathetic person, you see the best in people, you see the light, you see the goodness that everyone else doesn't see, even though everyone is still asking you, why are you still friends with this person? But again, it is what it is. So continuing with the psychopath that I was with, I don't want to forget any points. So the psychopath is a chameleon. He blends in all environments, and they can take any type of persona. Like they can be an introvert when they're amongst introverts. They can be an extrovert when they're amongst extroverts. When they go to church, they act holy. So they can take any form. any shape, no shape, they still look the same, but the form that they take, it's like they become this other person that they're trying to be. And then the next one is that the psychopath is much more dangerous than the narcissist. The narcissist hurts your feelings. The narcissist wants to take away your light. The narcissist wants to take away your smile, your joy, the light that they see in you. The psychopath wants you dead. They want you dead. They don't want you to break your heart. They want to destroy your soul. They want you to die, literally. And I say this very seriously, and I want you to take this very seriously. Psychopaths are very dangerous individuals. I know this video is going to be longer than what I want it to be, but please bear with me. This is very important. Psychopaths are much more dangerous than narcissists. It was because of the Lord. It's because of the Lord that I am still alive today and able to make these videos. Otherwise, I would have died on the 26th of September 2021. And the psychopath is dangerous in the sense that they will kill you, bury you under their bed, walk out in public, go to work, go to their friends, go to their many girlfriends, and pretend as if nothing happened. And when they end up being caught, but most psychopaths really don't end up being caught, because the high spectrum of psychopaths, like the extreme ones, they don't get caught. They do amazing work, and I'm not saying that to praise them. It's evil, but they do amazing work to cover the tracks. There's so many females and males who have been killed by their partner that was a psychopath, whether the psychopath was a male or female. They passed away and the psychopath has gotten away with it. The psychopath still lives amongst us and we won't even know. That's how a psychopath is. That's why the psychopath is very, very extremely dangerous. And even when they get caught by the police eventually, or if they end up being caught, when they tell the police how they killed you, they smile. They smile, giving the police detail on how of an amazing job they did to kill you and bury you and hide you. And they will laugh knowing that for a long period of time, no one suspected them. They praise themselves for their work. So that's why I'm saying, oh, okay, so I had to attend to something right now. So I'm trying to think where I left the video off. Okay, so the psychopath will praise themselves for their beautiful work of having killed you and no one suspected them, and how they almost got away with it. So that's why the psychopath is much more dangerous than a narcissist. And I will make videos talking about the signs of a psychopath. And I'm not a person that will give you advice and say, when you have relationship advice, leave your partner. No, I will listen to what's happening and try to give my feedback and even give solutions on how both of you can fix things. But once I know that someone is with a psychopath, leave. Don't just leave, plan your exit. I had to plan my exit from Mr. M. You just leave, run away, because you're not safe. You are not safe, because psychopaths, not only are they dangerous, but they are also very obsessive. Being obsessive, it's a narcissistic trait. And yeah, so going back to me saying that I almost died on the 26th of September 2021, there is a video that I made about how I healed from a relationship with a psychopath, and I do talk about that in that video. But what happened on that particular day was I had already told myself I don't want to be with Mr. M anymore. Emotionally, I had tapped out. I was gone, because I had broken up with them the first time because I suspected that they were cheating and something was just not right. I didn't have proof, and I wasn't the type of person to go through his stuff because I've been with him for so many years and he's never ever given me reason to not trust him, or I've never seen any reason to not trust him. But my suspicions started getting like more as the months went by. Then I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm breaking up with you. Then we were not together February, March, April, May. Then the end of May, he wanted us to get back together. So I said to him, we're not going to officially say we are back together because I first want to see if you're serious about us being together. And then in that period of seeing if he's serious or not, the first 2 weeks he was on his best behavior, But after like the third, fourth week, I could see that he hasn't changed and his behavior just started getting worse. And I could see that he was still cheating. And this time around, I looked for proof and I found proof. And then I didn't leave immediately because the first time I left the psychopath, when he wanted us to get back together, he would stalk me. And this is not cute. It's not cute. It's dangerous. It's not cute. He would stalk me. He knew at that time that I jogged on Sundays. So he would wait for me at the route that I take when I jog. And I ignored him then, the first 2 times. Then he showed up at my work. Not cute. When you are in a healthy relationship and your partner comes to your work and gives you like an unexpected gift or lunch, that's cute, that's beautiful. But when a psychopath that you've broken up with wants to get back together with you and you're not interested in getting back together with him, and then they stalk you on your whereabouts, they show up at your work without you knowing, it's a problem. It's not cute. It's called you are being stalked and your life is in danger. So after he did that, after he showed up at my work, I was like, I'm not going to talk to you right now because I'm busy at work. You can come back once I'm done at work. And then he left. And then when I was done at work, he came back. And then that's when we spoke. And I was like, okay, I'll give you a chance if I can see your behavior has changed. But it just got worse. That's why I said in my previous video, don't go back to a narcissist or psychopath because the abuse gets worse, and it got worse. Like, it got worse to a point where I started emotionally leaving the relationship. And then I was like, okay, physically I can't just leave because now I know he can stalk me. He can show up at my work. So what I did is I started changing my routine. I stopped jogging on Sundays. I jogged on a random day, and I kind of changed my route on where I jogged. And when I was at his place, when I would come back home, I would always like bring stuff back, and he would ask me like, why are you taking your stuff? Where are you taking your stuff? I'm like, no, I just want to like wash them at home and then I'll bring them back. I didn't. That was my plan of exit. That by the time I got all my things out of his place at his house, because he stays with his brother, it's a family house. So I got all my stuff out and I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm leaving. And then what happened was that he came to my home and he wanted us to talk. And then on the day he came for us to talk, I was preparing to go out with a work colleague. And I was like, I'm going out with the girls from my work, so I can't speak right now. And then he was like, okay, when you come back, we can come to my place and then we can talk. I was like, okay, whatever, cool. Went out with the girls. Then when I got back, I went to his place, got to his place, didn't want to open the door because he had a girl there, and eventually opened. And then I asked him, why did you take so long to open? Are you with someone? And then he was like trying to make excuses. But yeah, fast forward, he was with a girl, and the girl was not just a girl, it's a lady that's older than me. The girl is his brother's ex-girlfriend. So they were busy doing the thing behind his brother's back. And for a female to also do that just shows you that she's also scum. And I'm not saying that out of jealousy. I'm saying that because I will not be with a guy, break up with the guy, and then go date his brother. Ew. Sis. No. And then when I got into the room, she was there. I woke her up. I said, leave the room. When she left the room, I closed the door and then I started shouting at him like, you want us to talk, but you haven't changed. You're still doing this. You said I must come back from my girls' night out and come talk to you, but here you are doing this nonsense, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, yeah, but I didn't think you would come back because you said you're going to come back at 10 o'clock and now it's past 12. And like, it doesn't matter. Because that's the thing with a psychopath and a narcissist. They always have a reply. And the reply always shifts the blame on you. They will not take responsibility of their actions. So I was like, it doesn't matter what time I'm back. You're still with the female. And you came to me saying you want us to talk. So I started shouting at him, and everything that I had bottled up inside, I just vomited it out. And in us screaming back and forth, he took me up, put me against the wall, started choking me, saying that I'm gonna die. You're gonna see who I really am. You're gonna die tonight, Zandile. You're gonna die tonight. I'll never forget those words. And then after he tried to kill, while he was attempting to kill me, because I was slowly passing out, his brother was not there, but luckily his brother got there just in time. I think he was coming back from an event or something, but he got back on time, and we could hear that something is happening in the room. So when he got into the room, he was like, no, 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 dude, you don't do this. We don't solve things like this. What are you doing? So his brother took me to the bathroom and then took both of us into the bathroom because he didn't want his girlfriend. I think his girlfriend at the time was pregnant. And then the other girl that was his ex was in another room. So he took me and Mr. M into the bathroom. And then he was like, guys, what's happening? And blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, your brother is a piece of, I don't swear anymore, but a piece of, yeah. And as much as I was too busy. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. And after he strangled me, right, when we were outside in the yard arguing, like I said, he said words to me that confirmed that he is a psychopath. He said to me, people will never know. Wait. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had to attend to the last thing. So when we were arguing outside in the yard, and I said to him, I wish that one day people will know the real you and they'll find out who you actually are. And words that I will never, ever, ever forget, because they confirmed that he also knows there's something wrong with him. He might not admit he's a psychopath, but he knows something is wrong with him, because his reply to me was, people will never find out the real me because I am very good at pretending. Those were his words. And those words helped me so much in my healing journey, because in understanding that everything was fake, the 10 years was fake. The person he pretended to be was fake. Like the person he pretended to be when he was with me, that person didn't exist. He became the person that he knew I wanted in a relationship. And when he did this in such a perfect way that I didn't even know. Like when I was 20, 21, 22, I didn't even know about personality disorders. I didn't know about narcissism. The only thing I knew about psychopaths is the documentaries I watched growing up. When we watch about a psychopath that was a serial killer, that's all I knew about psychopaths. I never in my life thought I would be in a relationship with a psychopath. I never thought I would be friends, with a psychopath. It's not something that I had information about. So it was so easy for him to pretend to be a man that I wanted without me knowing that he's pretending. And I remember at times when I still had friends in my 20s, people would be like, oh, I want a boyfriend like Zandile because her boyfriend is perfect. And at that time, because I was dumb and I didn't know anything about psychopathy, I would smile, I would be happy because my boyfriend was getting good compliments, right? But now looking back, knowing what I know, it wasn't good. The fact that he was perfect, like everything that I wanted in a guy, he would do that. He became the man that I wanted. And he couldn't keep up with the fakeness anymore. He couldn't keep up with the facade. So the mask started slipping. and his true self was starting to show. And when his true self was starting to show, that's when I realized in end of 2020 that he's changing. Not end of 2020 September, that's when I started noticing that something about him is off. And when I called him out, he would say it's stress because of the new job or because of school, because he was studying and working. So at first I bought that excuse, but as time went by, I didn't buy it. But anyway, so if you want the rest of the story, I'll put the link in the description on how I healed from a 10-year relationship with a narcissistic psychopath. I go into much more detail. And when I applied for the protection order, for him to just stay away from me, to not be with me, the interim protection order was granted. But then when we went to court, unfortunately, the magistrate didn't grant the final protection order, because I'm going to make a video about this. I definitely am going to make a video about this. The court system knows nothing about narcissism. They know nothing about narcissism. They know nothing about psychopaths. That's why most females, because in South Africa, females are killed by their partners, murdered, butchered by their boyfriends, husbands, all the time in South Africa, because the court system, the justice system, they are not educated about people with personality disorders, people with mental disorders. They do not know. So when we appeared in front of the magistrate was like, it's his first offense, and this is just a relationship problem. I know you guys are going to get back together, and I know you're going to end up missing each other. And I was like, ma'am, I am not going to miss this man. This man tried to kill me. If it wasn't for his brother, I would have been dead. So what she ended up doing was giving him a warning to stay away from me, to not chat to me on social media, no Instagram, no WhatsApp, nothing. And she said that if he breaks the warning, then the protection order will come into play. And then in my mind, I'm like, a warning? Really? So what if this person decides to... But anyway, I'll rant in a different video about that issue. And then, did the psychopath stay away from me? No. He went to my mom and my dad because he wanted me back, and I did not want him back. I refused. Went to my mom and my dad in 2022. 2022, the month of April and May, into the first week of June. 2022, April, May, into the first week of June. He was pleading with my parents to talk to me so that I get back together with him. So when my parents didn't know the whole story. They only recently just know the story, because I think it was like a few days ago, or if a week ago, that I actually told them why I would never, ever, ever get back together with Mr. M. And when I told them the reasons and what actually happened, they now understand. But at the time, they didn't know the story. So they just thought, oh, you guys have broken up, in your 20s, you guys met when you were very young, this is just relationship problems, you guys are going to be good again. And I told my parents, I'm like, no, I don't want him. I don't want him near me. I want nothing to do with him. He can go live his life. I'm good, as long as he lives his life away from me. And after he saw that I wasn't budging, I wasn't going to go back to him, and I went no contact. Like, I completely went no contact, blocked all his fake accounts that he used to stalk me, blocked his numbers, like blocked everything. And after that, I've never heard from him again till this day. Never heard from him, and I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to talk to him. Like I said in the other video, I don't hate him. I don't love him. I feel indifferent. I've forgiven him. I've released him. And when he came to apologize, I told him that you're apologizing. I appreciate that, but your apology is kind of late, because I forgave you a long time ago. I forgave you a long time ago so that I could heal. I forgave you a long time ago because I didn't want to walk around with anger and rage. That is not me. That is not how the Lord designed me to be. So I just did not want to walk around with anger and rage. And I was like, I'm good. And then next point, Um, yeah, so that was the last point actually. The psychopath still went to plead to my parents and ask them to talk to me and get back together with him, which I never did. And then when I no contacted him, he obviously went to his other supplies, and that's when he was panicking. So actually, I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I'll talk about it in a different video when it comes to why he panicked when he lost me, because I was the primary source of supply. I was the A grade supply. And people like to say that people that are A grade supplies are people that are dumb. No, it's not that I'm dumb. I wasn't dumb. The reason why I was grade A supply to the psychopath was when we met, we were very young. He was a student, I wasn't working, and I wasn't a student. I supported his dreams, I supported him through school. I didn't care whether he has money or not. Even when I started working and he was a student, I didn't care. I'm like that with everyone. Whether you're a stranger or not, I will give you care, I will give you love, I will give you joy, I will give you support, I will root for you. I don't care if we sit and eat a packet of chips that costs 50 cents, as long as we're spending time together and we're talking and we're motivating each other and we're supporting each other. So for me, I'm that type of person. So the reason why it's grade A supply is because of reasons like that. So the reason I got interrupted again, I'm so sorry. So the reason, one of the many reasons why I was A grade supply, the supply that got away, the one that got away, is because the issues that Mr. M had from his childhood, I understood those issues. The things people made fun about him, I saw as unique. I saw it as special, and I I helped him to boost his confidence, and I was just there. I was the light in his dark world, because he grew up without a father and he was raised by his grandmother. He would see his mom during the holidays, but not all the time. So I'm kind of giving you the gist of his background. And then, so when he met me, the reason why I always attracted narcissists and psychopaths and the Satan's children isn't because I'm perfect, but because of the light that the Lord has installed in me. So when it comes to Mr. M, I gave him support, I gave him love, I gave him motivation. When he cried, I comforted him, and I would not make fun of him crying. When he showed emotion, I would support him. I would hold him. Like, there are times where I literally would hold him like a baby, because looking back now, I didn't know, but psychopaths and narcissists, they are children. And I would literally just keep him quiet like a baby when he's hurt or crying. So I was always there for him. When he didn't have a job, I was there. When he had a job, I was there. Finances, I helped him with. We supported each other, you know. So I was that supply, and he wanted to keep me on lock in 2019 December when he proposed. When we went to, I was born in Cape Town. He's from a different province. I don't want to give too much information away, but people that know me personally know who I'm talking about. He's from a different province. I'm from Cape Town. So 2018 December, he took me home to his hometown, and 2019 December, he took me to his hometown. And then in 2019, he proposed and wanted us to get married, which I said no, because we're young. And I always keep my mom's teachings. My mom told all of us at home, girls and boys, do not get married when you are broke. Do not get married when you do not have money. Do not have a child outside of a wedding or marriage. Get married. First have your money. Get married, then have the kids. So I always installed that in my head. And when he proposed, I told him, I was like, we're both young. I don't want to get married. I love you. You love me. Can we get married when we're like 35 or 36, when we have some sort of stability in our lives, especially financially? And he wasn't happy about it when I turned down his proposal, but he ended up being okay with it and understanding that I don't want to get married now. I'm not in a rush. I'm still not in a rush. Do I want to get married in the future? Yes, I do. But do I want to get married now? No. My life is not in order. The Lord is busy fixing me, cleansing me. My number one relationship and priority right now is with the Lord. And everything else the Lord will give me when the time is right. So when I look back, I am so grateful I never agreed to marry him, because if I had married him and had kids or a child, it was going to be more difficult to leave. So when I left with no child, no wedding, no marriage, like just gone, gone. 10 years. But those 10 years, when I reflect on those 10 years, I've learned a lot about myself, my own narcissistic traits. Like I always say in the videos, we all in this world have narcissistic traits, but not all of us are narcissists. So when I look back on the 10-year relationship, I reflect on my narcissistic traits, which I talk about in the video, which the link is, I'll put in the description. I talk about my own narcissistic traits and my own red flags. I'm not perfect, and I'm at a place now where I've worked on my toxic traits. I've reflected and I've seen where I also went wrong in the 10-year relationship. So yeah, that is me being in a 10-year relationship with a psychopath. Now going back to the verses. As the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness, the first verse. The psychopath is very crafty. The way the serpent fooled Eve to eat the apple is how the psychopath was able to fool me and be crafty about me believing that the person he pretended to be for 10 years exists. That person does not exist. It was false. And then the other one says that for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. So the psychopath transformed in himself to seem as if he is a good man, a great man, an amazing man, a loving man, and that he's going to one day be an amazing husband and father. No, he won't. He won't, because even right now he has multiple children. And I feel sorry for his other supplies, because there is one supply that he has that believes that her child with him is his first child, which is not the case. He's had children while he was with me in the 10 years. He doesn't know that I know this, but I did my investigation in 2021 when I was like, okay, I want to leave. I investigated, I found out he has a child outside of our relationship, and I started to plan my exit. And that's not the only child he has. He has multiple children. He thinks I don't know. I know. There's a lot of things I found out about him, because I'm good at investigating. Like, guys, when something for me doesn't make sense, I will and I'll for we understand about eating into. And when I would ask him, if I ask you, it doesn't, and I'm not even talking about the psychopath, I'm talking about myself in life generally. If I ask you something and you will respond to me with a lie, the Lord has gifted me with a gift of being observant and the gift of discernment. I'll know when you're lying. You're going to respond with the lie. I go do my FBI investigation. I find out the truth. I leave. I don't even tell you that I know the truth. I just carry on with my life while you live thinking that I believe your lie when I know the truth. So it was that type of situation when I found out. But I'll talk about it in another video, how I found out about his multiple children and his finances that are non-existent, and how the other supplies would actually give him money, not with the now I'm going to make this video very long. I apologize. So what the psychopath would do when he first meets his other supplies, because he had multiple supplies. Like, I know the one supply, they've known each other for like 8 or 9 years, and she thinks that he's the love of her life. He's not. He has other females. He has other supplies that also think he's the love of their life. Yeah, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's sad. So I'm not going to cry about it. So I choose to laugh. So each of the psychopaths, each of Mr. M's supply, I know about 3 or 4 of those females. All 3 or 4 of them think Mr. M is the love of their life, not knowing the truth, and they don't know about each other as well. And he doesn't know I know this, but yeah. So psychopaths, much more dangerous, much more scheming. They will come to you looking like the angel of light, but they are a demonic entity from Satan's kingdom. So in conclusion, sorry, I even forgot about my conclusion. In conclusion, psychopaths are a demonic spirit from Satan's world. This spirit is as crafty as the serpent that approached Eve. And the psychopath comes into your life as an angel of light, but is actually not an angel, but an agent, a demon from Satan's world. So please take what I've said in this video seriously. Once you find out that you are with a psychopath or a malignant narcissist, just run. Plan your exit. And if you have a child or children with this type of person, unfortunately, I'm sorry that you have a child with this type of person. You need to make sure that your contact with them is at a minimum, because you can't take a child away from them, even though they don't take care of the children, because Mr. M doesn't take care of the children, his other children. For now, he's giving attention to the one. But you know how psychopaths, narcissists are. They make a child here, they leave, make a child here, leave. They don't take care of their kids. They only see the kids when they want to see it. And they will, oh no, why am I saying it? When they want to see the child. And most of the time, they just use the child to get to you because they want to gain access. And don't have children with narcissists and psychopaths. It's a trap. It's a trap. Mr. M trapped his other supplies, gave them babies, doesn't support, still cheats, is still going to continue making other babies, because when the narcissist gets older, you know, he wants to make sure that he always has supply. So what he's going to do is going to trap you with the baby. And when you have a child with a narcissist or psychopath, you can't ignore them. You can't go no contact, because they are going to use the child to get to you. So they are always in your life forever until you die or until the child dies. So me, I'm grateful to the Lord that I'm alive. His brother got home right on time, or right in time, to save me. And I'm grateful that I don't have a child with a psychopath. I was never married to the psychopath. And I was able to walk away and start my life from scratch, change my schedule, just fix me. And that's what I'm continuing to do. I'm single, not in a rush to be in a relationship, not in a rush to have a child, not in a rush to get married. I am focusing on my relationship with the Lord, who is then going to take care of everything else that has to do with me. So my number one priority right now is my relationship with the Lord, and making these videos to make people aware of such personality disorders and mental disorders. I'm sending you guys all the love, all the peace, all the warmth, all the joy, and all the sanity that the Lord Yeshua has to offer. Take care.